Hello folks, good boy Higgins. So I thought I would jump in here for you guys in the middle of a dog meal prep that I'm doing here, because I thought some of the information might be helpful. So probably won't get all of the information in here. You might have to ask some questions on stuff if you're interested. And also, this is not me telling you how you should feed your dog and all those following disclaimers and all that, since I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that. But this is just me showing what I do, one of the things that I do. And I don't do it the same every time, I do it different. But yeah, this is just one time dog meal prep for a December Sunday. So I started this out with this mix in here is some sprouted barley. I guess I should explain first that what I'm doing right now is trying to stretch. This is the main thing of what they're eating today, well, for the next few days, is this blend that I got from a butcher shop, a local butcher shop, that they take all their scrap and any parts that they're not using, the organs that they're not using, trim, bone dust, a bunch of basically anything they're not using for the human market, and they will grind it up and sell it to us for dog food for a really good price. So I like to add something to this because there's not a lot of, with the bone dust, there's not a lot of it, and so if I feed just this, there's a lot of organ in it, especially a lot of liver. There is heart in there too, tongue, all kinds of stuff. This is mostly beef here, but it will make the dog's poop runny because there's so much organ meats and not very much bone. So I like to add things to it to help with that, and up the bone content with this, and then add the reason I add other things to it is because I want to stretch this as much as I can, trying to save on cost. So I'll use whatever we have on hand, whatever we might have extra of, or some old food that's still fine to feed to them that I might want to feed out. Just depends what I'll do at the time. But this particular time, it changes all the time what I have. This particular time I did, let's see if I can grab a sprout out of here. Oop, I dropped it. So you can kind of see the little sprouts on there if it'll focus. There it is. So what I did is I took some of the barley that we buy to make our own cob feed for our horses, and I sprouted some, and then I've heard that it's best to blend it, but I did not want to deal with the sound of the blender today. I have a lot of medical issues. If you aren't familiar with my channel, I have a lot of medical issues, and that is my service dog, Higgins, down there. And one of the things is I'm noise sensitive, so I didn't feel like dealing with that today. So instead, I just cooked it after I had sprouted it, which I know is going to kill some of the good stuff, but that's what I did today. And the rest of what's in here is, well, actually, when I cooked it, I put extra water, and I used that to also add in the teas that you might have seen over here. So I put these teas in there, and the reason is because one of the dogs that I'm feeding this to, Pistol, has an active Lyme infection, and so we're using the cystis tea for that, and the chamomile and ginger to help with inflammation and soothing. Everything that's in here is either to stretch food, which some of this is to stretch food, and then any of the supplements are for specific purposes. So the mushrooms, while they are expensive, I had some on hand, so we're using those up for him for his immune system. This kelp is from Glacier Peak. I don't have it in the original container right here. I already threw it away, but it's the Super Cleanse from Glacier Peak. And then the cilantro, I can't remember what the kelp's in there for right now, but there's a purpose for it. But the cilantro is to help bind and pull out toxins. And then the turmeric, black pepper, and coconut oil combined together as what's kind of known as golden paste. You can look that up. It's for inflammation and stuff like that. And then the blueberries for the antioxidants in there. And of course the meat is the main bulk of it, and of course the organ meats are all the vitamin minerals. And then this is Shasta's over here. The other spot was Pistols. This is Shasta's over here, and she has some wormwood. This is just our dried herbs. This is a reused container, but here, I'll try not to shake you too much opening it. But this is just some dried herbs. I'm adding a little pinch to each of hers of the wormwood, because I'm not certain, but she might have some tapeworms, so I'm adding that in to help with that. She is on CBD because she is like 10 and a half years old, and she is sore, so the CBD's been helping. And then I give her chlorella that we buy in bulk. This is just I refill this container for the dogs. And that's to help bind to toxins also. So those are the supplements of what is in there. I also typically will add pumpkin seeds, but there's actually already pumpkin seeds in here. So then I'll go back to explaining what's in this. So this mix, like I said, the barley, sprouted barley, and the teas were added to the water in here so that it's all one thing. Makes it a little easier. And then what I did is I'm also, like I said, using up some old stuff that we have. And we had this base mix from quite a while ago when we had been feeding this. We ended up being too expensive for us to do it that way, and I just didn't care for doing it that way as much. So we have since sourced locally, and that helps with the cost a lot. But this we had, so this is an empty box, I put it in a bin, but I'll show you the ingredients on the back of this. And I don't really care for all of the minerals and stuff listed in there, because that's going to be a synthetic vitamin mineral mix probably. I don't know for sure if it is with this company. This company is better than a lot, so I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But anyways, I do like a lot of the other stuff in there, but I'd rather just get my own of these other things in bulk and save money that way as well. So, but since we had it, I added that in the extra water and to rehydrate it in with this, and I had let it set and cool and everything. And so I used that. I have just the one portion left I held out to show you, but that goes in this bag here. And then I'll explain what else is in the bags. So, you might be able to see it in Pistols better actually. So, in these bags, there is the mix in there, and then what these are is cut up, cooked, see I can puncture it with my finger and everything. It's very soft and gooey. That is squash skins, and There's squash seeds in there too. It's squash, pumpkin, kind of the same thing. These ones are kind of just, most of the pumpkins that are used commercially are actually squash. But anyways, these are because my ma has been processing and preserving some squash that she grew, and so the parts that she doesn't use I get to feed to the dogs. It's actually really soothing to the gut. It's good for them to have, so it's a really nice addition to their meals right now, this time of year when that's available. So they have base mix in there with the sprouted, well anyways, I already said it all, I'm not going back through it. It's kind of silly. So but yeah, so then that is added, the squash, and then all the supplements respective to each dog, and then there's a little bit of frozen blueberries that we get from Costco. We get the coconut there too because they're pretty cheap there, and put all that into there. And then I've got to put the rest of this in there, which is going to be kind of fun trying to do it with one hand. But let's see. Oh, look at that. Went right in. Alright, so we're going to put the rest of that in there. And then, hang on a second, I got to scoop every last bit out. So I just put that in there. And then what I do for this meat is I choose to use a glove right now because I don't like to, this has got a lot of the trimmings from the fat and stuff, and I don't like to dig that back out from underneath my nails. I gotta sit you down for a second, put on this glove. So I'll just use, I always just use one glove because I don't need more than one hand into it. So normally I will grab the bags and bring them over to the sink so I don't spill meat anywhere. But I've washed down and sanitize all these counters in the sink and the whole area anyways when I'm done. But I'll show you this way because I am holding the phone in the other hand. So I just bring it over and put it in, obviously a lot more than that. But so I'll fill it the rest of the way of the amount that I want, oops, with the meat, and then that will be a day's meal. I'm doing the bags right now. I was doing containers that I could wash and reuse, but I'm not right now because of my health being a little difficult. So it's easier right now to be able to do the bags, and it's a small expense added on, but right now it's worth it, and we're saving expense with all the add-ins that we're doing here, so it makes it doable. So yeah, that's a meal prep, and that's what they eat most of the week for the next, it's 10 days worth. So I also did one last week that had sardines in it, and they'll get that a couple times a week for their omegas. And then the rest of the week they'll get this, and that's what it'll be for a little while, and then I'll do it up again with whatever I have on hand, so it could look different the next time. Just all depends. So I hope something is helpful out of this for you. Just thought it might be helpful, the thought of using what you have on hand and sourcing locally, checking your butcher shops, checking any growers around you that might be growing different livestock or produce, stopping in at farms, just talking to people and seeing, a lot of times if they have excess they might give it to you or sell it to you at a much lower cost than what you can find commercially. So I thought that might be helpful to some people, but for now that's all I've got. Alright, we'll see you next time.